Today, the European Parliament in Brussels played host to a delegation advocating an independent South Arabia. The conference that took place over 2 days saw members of the delegation outline the case for a separate independent southern state. James Carver, a member of the European Parliamentary Foreign Affairs Committee, greeted the delegates and opened proceedings.
Mr Al-Jeffrey, all of you, welcome to the European Parliament. I'm delighted to be hosting tomorrow's conference on this vitally important issue. We have tragic, terrible times currently going on in the Yemen, and I look forward to hearing the South Arabian perspective on the way forward to hopefully find a peaceful and long-lasting resolution to this crisis.
Thank you very much for your reception, and we are pleased to be in your Parliament, and we hope to reach to some kind of resolutions supporting the case of Saudi Arabia. We are sure that we have justice case. We are sure that our case will win.
Galal Salah, leader of the Southern Democratic Assembly, explained how important the conference was.
This is the big achievement for us, and this is a big moment when we and the Parliament host this conference, and we are looking to get a recognition for our case from the people we believe could play a big part for our situation.
Yemen at the present time is in a state of chaos. Since unification, there have been continual tensions between the north and south, with outbreaks of violence. Yemen has been the base for terrorist organisations for a number of years, but the overthrow of the Ali Abdullah Saleh regime by the Houthis from the north has led to a total breakdown of the state. Having overthrown the Saleh regime, the Houthis swept into the south, and fighting continues between soldiers loyal to the deposed regime and Houthi forces. But this already deadly situation is worsened by the presence of over 20,000 foreign fighters and Islamic extremists, many returning from fighting in Afghanistan. The prospect of religious extremists filling the political vacuum is very real, with the risk to stability in the region, especially the vital trade routes through the Gulf of Aden. Yet amongst the chaos and fighting, the Southern Democratic Assembly has continued its peaceful campaign for an independent South Arabia. At the conference in Brussels, Mr Abdul Rahman Ali Al-Jafri, chairman of the Southern Temporary National Commission for Liberation and Independence, met with politicians and officials to explain the case for Southern independence and lead proceedings on behalf of the 25 South Arabian political groups participating in the conference. In his speech, Mr Ali Al-Jafri reviewed the historical political situation of Yemen and South Arabia, the circumstances of unification and the reasons for its ultimate failure. He then outlined the struggle of the people of South Arabia and their aspirations to freedom and independence.
We need to have our own state, to have it independence, to build good relations with our neighbors and with the world, to exchange interests and to be in stability, security, development in our country. We are calling for independence, calling for a state in our country, South Arabian, and we have the right to do so. It's our right by all the international laws, and we are sure that the members of this parliament, we consider Europe is the soul of democracy, the soul of freedom. It started from this area in the world and spread over the world. I don't think that they will stand in another position than the position of helping us, standing with us to gain our independence and build our state in the Saudi Arabia. Our suggestion is to make an end to this war, that we secure the South, and to establish administration for the South, and to prepare the South within a year for referendum and to choose the kind of regime they want, how they take their independence, etc. That's what we need. Without this, we will continue fight. From now on, we will not surrender. Okay, we will allow, of course, the humanitarian because we need it. We need it. And we need it for us and for them because they are human beings. They are our brothers. We need everybody to eat and to have medicine. But we need to have these forces to establish security after this war and to establish local administration, to run the country administratively, and then within a year to have kind of referendum that the people to choose their future. We expect that we can convince the European Parliament members and others who will meet here with our case, the Southern Arabian case. Our hope to be future to build healthy relation with even our brothers in Yemen and in the neighborhood and the Gulf states, and to build relations with the whole world, to exchange interest. A lot of interest between us will be with Europe, with the whole world.
Secretary of Foreign Relations Abdo Anakib provided background on the current situation in South Arabia and the wider picture of conflict in Yemen, casting doubt on the Yemeni claims to be combating terrorism and religious extremism. Mr Anakib highlighted the risk of groups such as Al-Qaeda becoming established in the south and suggested there was credible evidence to link the group with the previous regime. He also provided evidence of the humanitarian catastrophe unfolding in South Arabia, now acute as the hot season starts with power and water shortages caused by the fighting. With no let-up in the violence, the civilian population is particularly vulnerable at this time, and no aid is getting through to the south. Over 4,000 people have been killed so far in South Arabia, with over 10,000 casualties, but these numbers will be dwarfed by the humanitarian disaster unfolding in the south.
We are calling the international community to help us and to, at least in humanitarian issues, and to force those military forces to allow the international organization to deliver the crucial aids which is in need for the people, like a medicine, like a food, and also like water. The international communities have a crucial interest in our area, and we respect that. For example, the international trade route, which is close to Aden.
We are heading to have security in our area, stability and development. This cannot be achieved without having our independence. Then we can help to achieve this in our area.
As part of the conference, Michael Greaves, a parliamentary legal expert who is working with the delegation to put forward their legal case, addressed the meeting.
The United Nations Declaration on the Right of Self-Determination of Peoples should mean what it says in the document. And if you decide as a people that what you want is to go back to a single state in South Arabia, South Yemen, then you have that right in international law. When I say use the law as a weapon, there is a way in which you can use it. You should assert your right if that is what you want to do. Start gathering evidence to support your claim on borders. That is going to be a vital issue because there is always going to be a dispute. So have a plan, set out your claim clearly and moderately, and importantly hold out the promise of a moderate, stable South Yemen. And I think that you will succeed in your aim.
The crisis in Yemen is threatening the existence of the people, and it is clear a solution, with the help of the international community, to end the fighting is a matter of urgency.
We'll have to work hard and quickly. We don't have a lot of time because more time we passed, more people killed, more suffering in our area, humanitarian problems. We cannot get medicine to our country, we cannot get treatment to our people there, we cannot get food to our people there. So the faster we work and the harder we work, so the shorter period we spend on this problem in this struggle.
Two weeks ago I hosted an event in Brussels with a delegation from the Southern Movement, an umbrella group bringing together the different political parties seeking an effective split, returning to the post-Yemeni unification borders before 1990. The main speaker was Mr Al-Jifri, a former South Yemeni Vice President, who gave a detailed update of the tragic situation on the ground. He spoke passionately about the increasing humanitarian crisis, the fact that the international aid reaching the Yemen is being distributed through Hadida port in the north, whilst Aden port in the south literally misses the boat. He also spoke of the increase in casualties and underlined how Yemen's infrastructure has been completely obliterated. Mr. President, the pressing issues that must be addressed across the globe are the need for a correct diplomatic approach towards achieving a credible ceasefire so that the tragic humanitarian crisis that my colleagues across the House have spoken about can be addressed as a matter of priority. I was astounded to learn of another issue that needs addressing urgently, and that is how some of those taking part in the official dialogue might not actually be representing the very organisations that they claim to speak on behalf of. Certainly the Southern Movement delegates who attended my event left me with a distinct impression that they were currently unrepresented and incorrect actors are currently at the table incorrectly claiming to act for them. Now more than ever, the world has to progressively accept the increasing divide across the Middle East between Sunni and Shia Islam. Yemen today is a tragic example of this. Accordingly, should not the international community honestly consider whether a unified Yemen is a viable long-term solution? I genuinely believe that the possibility of eventually, and I say eventually, dividing Yemen to its pre-unification borders is an option worth proper consideration. Have we learnt nothing from the mistakes made a century ago by the Pico-Sykes Agreement? Thank you.